All right, guys, the wait is over. Friday Night Lights was meant for this. I believe this is exactly why they coined the phrase. I'm Vince Rosa. I've got the former U.S. national team, MLS, European defender, Heath Pearce here with me. This is the LAFC watch party, watching Austin FC versus LAFC. We're here at Brooklyn Ave Pizza Co. We're sponsored by Heineken. And the wait's over, guys. I see in the chat, you're like, what is this? Oh, look, they're already shouting out Heath. They love you.
Oh, they're getting Heath question mark, so maybe I got to earn some love, over the next 90 minutes or so.
Well, we will be here the entire time, just so you guys know. The watch along, what we do here is you should have the game on ESPN. So you got Taylor, you got John Champion, but then you've also got us. We're your second screen. Heath and I'll be definitely unabashedly black and gold, as you can tell from my outfit. Heath will do his best to, I think, give us some good analysis, but I think you have a little black and gold tinge to you at times.
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay.
Come on.
So we're here at Brooklyn Ave Pizza Co. and it's like watching with your friends at a bar. We are your new best friends, Heath and Vince. Nice to meet you guys. We're your best friends. But there's one more person here that we've got with us. It's Katia Castorena. You know her from ESPN and ESPN Deportes, as well as the sidelines of LAC. Let's throw to Katia real quick and let's see what she's got going on the other side of the bar.
Thanks, Vince, Keith. I'm so excited to be here because this is a party after all, so we're going to have some fun, enjoying the game, talking about it, but also giving away some prizes so the fans will want to stick around this area of the bar because we have hats, we have t-shirts, and the grand prize at the end of the show, a signed hat by, of course, Gareth Bale, who, by the way, is starting for the first time with LAFC tonight. Guys?
Gareth Bale signed hat? You and I can't win.
Yeah, and starting.
Oh, yeah. Did we mention that? Gareth Bale is starting.
Yeah, that's what Katia was getting at. It's a big night.
Yeah, the starting lineups are in. Obviously, you can tell LAFC is going for it after rotating a little bit against San Jose. You mentioned Gareth Bale, his first start.
And it only costs.
Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. And like you said, they're going for it. You can see in the lineup. And it wasn't a little bit of rotation. It was a lot of rotation against San Jose. And, this is a big moment to see this team come closer and closer together. You talk about the depth of this team. You heard it if you were watching the pregame of the depth of this team, how good they are. But now you've got to start to add those pieces into a starting lineup as you head towards the playoffs. So it's going to be exciting to see what he can do over, hopefully, 90 minutes.
And shout out to you guys in the chat. Unfortunately, you cannot win the Gareth Bale signed hat, but I've got a very good prize exclusively for the chat. It's one of the Juneteenth community warm-up tops, and that will be only for you guys. So you got to stay tuned because I will have a trivia question in which you have to go to 110 Football's Instagram page and answer. First one will get that top. But stay tuned. We did not forget about you guys, and we will not forget about you guys. Heath and I are manning this chat all match long. And one more thing before we get to kickoff, Heath, something I just want to say that's very important, and one of the big reasons why we're here at Brooklyn Ave Pizza Co. is they are doing a special pizza for Mo Fazio. Unfortunately, we did lose Mo a little while back, but he's always in our hearts, and we're still pushing for that Mo Fazio futsal court. And Brooklyn Ave Pizza is doing their best to help us there. They have the Forever Black and Gold Pizza. It's a 12-inch personal pie baked on a fermented sourdough crust and hand-pulled with mozzarella, pepperoni slices, and pork sausage. 25% of that will go to the Mo Fazio Court, that Memorial Court in Southeast LA, and I have to let you guys know that was Mo's favorite toppings. So hence why we're doing that kind of pizza.
I love it. I love when it all comes together, especially around a big game like this, to be able to put everything into perspective and for a greater cause. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, Heath, they're kicking off now, right now.
I like that. Hopefully everybody's able to sync with us and is able to join us kind of in the same points of the game that we are. So you might have to do a few resets if anybody finds himself way out in front or way behind, because we don't want to also spoil it for anyone. But
I will, and you know that I am a seasoned professional. I will do that. And also I can count. So what I'm going to do for the people right now is let them know that what we're looking at is 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29.
What a counter. What a counter. I would have messed up somewhere at that point. I get up in the 20s and, get into trouble.
And don't forget there's the counter on the screen. We've added some bells and whistles since we've last done this, which is, again, why we have you, the big guns.
Oh, the big gun.
So, look, you and I were talking a lot about this game, what the mindset of as the teams. I'm just wondering for you as a player, and I laugh when I say this because, I know how competitive you guys are. Literally, I watch 5v5 from training, and guys go nuts. And they get upset when they get cheated, offside calls, whatever. It's a 9-point gap. So how do you balance?
Yeah, what's actually funny is I think back to when Chiellini first arrived, Bale first arrived. There was these things that they had said, and there was this obsession with the top of the table. And I was like, yeah, but the league's different, right? And it's about playoffs. It's about going beyond top of the table. But that mentality that they had, which, coming from their careers, fighting for trophies, and especially for Chiellini's sake, top of the table means everything. And so that mentality does carry over into everything that you're doing. So to I don't know, just that perspective to me meant that these games mean something, right? It's not just about, you go back to San Jose, okay, it wasn't the performance second half much better than the first half, but in a game like this, it's personal. You want to not only just get the result, but you're playing against a team where you've got some pride at stake, and it's all about the top of the table. So whether it's 9 points or 12 points, they're going to keep fighting to stay up there, and that requires getting results.
So you're referring to that 2-1 result back at Bank, the only time that LAFC, sorry, now I'm off. Now I'm trying to do stats. This is what I get for trying to do stats on the fly. But they don't lose often at Bank.
Yeah.
Do you think that
I think it's the only home loss, right?
I think it is the only home loss.
Yeah.
Is that really in their minds from May?
I don't know if that's in their minds, but these are two young teams and franchises with a lot to prove, right? I mean, the LAFC is this club that's been so successful in a lot of ways, but fallen short of what you would expect in terms of the quality that they have in terms of winning MLS Cup, right? So they've got their own goals and ambitions within all of this, and then you've got Austin, who are coming off of a really poor season, have turned it around and are now competing. So their mind is like, hey, we can close this gap if we get 3 points here. So LAFC is definitely thinking about that result and having. You don't need the motivation going into a match like this. You have enough. There's enough pressure going into this, but they're certainly not going to forget about that result.
So getting to the match, we just saw Sebastian Driussi. So I don't know if that was super dangerous, but it was something. Is that like a warning shot, you're thinking? Yeah,
I mean, you want to, for especially streaky strikers that are scoring a lot of goals, you want to, get into the game quick and early. Even for me as a defender, you see these couple chances here that Gareth Bale cross early on and now getting to Vela. Whether you're an attacker or defender, you want to just get in the game quick, right? You want to get your touches, you want to complete your first pass. At least for me as a defender, that settled me into the game, and you kind of find the pace from there. So to unleash a shot and kind of get that feel for it, I think is really important for a striker, especially in form. You want to get into the game and find it, because strikers more than defenders can go long periods without being involved, without getting the ball. So it's an important thing to get involved right away.
And if I'm watching this game, I'm thinking, wait, there's just been 2 quick chances on either end. I know the coaches aren't going to love that, but I think we're setting up goals. Yeah, we're setting up for some goals here.
Yeah, I fully agree. I mean, while we were talking, it went down one way. You ask a question about Driussi, and then all of a sudden you've got Vela on the other end putting a ball in. And so I see this being 2 teams that are capable of scoring goals, playing attractive. So, I'd be disappointed if there wasn't a number of goals here. I mean, hopefully for LAFC's sake, they can play to the clean sheet. I think that's been a theme that's happened throughout the year more than in other years. But, if it's a multiple goal entertaining game, that's also fun.
And I got to be careful with the question to ask, because it seems like chances are coming thick and fast, and we should be watching the game along with people and feeling the emotions. 2 quick chances off corners for LAFC.
Yeah, I mean, again, you go back to some of the things that Steve Cherundolo has said, very simplifying their game, which is like they're not giving up a lot on set pieces, they're creating more on set pieces, and that could be a key factor in whether or not they can get a result tonight is can they capitalize on that? That's a fantastic ball, and you call it a half chance when you watch it in a replay, but it ended up being going to the right spot and you putting it on the head of one of your big targets that you want to do better with that. What an audience, by the way. What a atmosphere. Have you been down? Have you been to?
I have been to Q2. Okay. It's very warm.
It is very warm.
Loud.
I've only been there for a national team game, so I haven't.
What was it like for the national team game? I'm sure it was quite as together, because these guys 17 games a season.
Yeah, it's not quite there, but you can see the stadium and the build and some of the vision behind why they made the decisions they did to make that stadium and the atmosphere that can come, because even when it's not their supporter group, you have a well-educated supporter group that exists there through the American Outlaws and others traveling in, or those based there that are Austin fans. It's a pretty amazing experience as well.
And shout out to the LAFC fans that are there. I heard there's over 100 that travel. They travel everywhere. It's like we have home games everywhere we go.
I gotta say, man, like I remember thinking about when I was playing in MLS of thinking like, well, what about how can we ever get fans to travel, right? It's such a vast landscape to be able to cover, and the expenses are pretty prohibitive. But to see what LAFC's done, you see it the first year, you're like, yeah, but it's the first year, it's easy to travel and get behind it. And now we're this many years in, and to hear about how many fans are traveling regularly is amazing. Amazing. It's like, look, I mean, you can see here also from the start, Austin's just looking to attack as well. Play a little wide open, which is what you want. You want the game to settle in so you can see the best of both teams.
I mean, these two teams, they've got to look at each other and be like, it's the Spider-Man.
The three fingers.
Like, they kind of play a lot alike.
Yeah.
Before we get off that, though, I wanted to ask you, when you were playing your playing days, I know you would see, like, your big European games, and they would, like, cheer the away fans. Was that ever you being like, when do I get to do that?
Yeah, well, that was the thing, is, like, you had to. We had to. I remember when I was playing in the Bundesliga, and we sat in the hotel, and you saw we were playing against a team called Energy Cottbus, and we were in the hotel waiting to go to the stadium, and you could see our fans coming off the train stop, and just in waves and waves and waves of fans, and you're like, this is nowhere close to home, and you have to clap for them, right? They're traveling, they're spending their hard-earned dollars, whether home or away, and to have that support is amazing. And now to see these mechanisms starting where you're having these supporter groups traveling more and more is pretty unbelievable.
Handbags. Yeah, look. So Hollingshead is down, heavy challenge. Murillo takes exception to it. Why did somebody just throw a punch? Like, let's go. No, I'm kidding.
He didn't look, that does not look, okay, so that starts with the first one. Bale tosses someone.
I don't know if, so Bale definitely did get his money's worth compared to Driussi if we break those two down.
No, but he's holding his knee, which is, it was tough to see from that angle, but you could see you asked right away, Vince, do these players remember this? I mean, clearly they do, and it's a top of the table clash between two teams that think they're better than each other. And so you got LAFC that gets a lot of the attention, rightfully so, because of the quality that they have. And Austin this year are sort of playing that underdog spirit and want to prove something here. So it's gotten chippy early.
Yeah, and I'm going to be watching because this is the thing that drives me wild about MLS referees. They're like, I don't want to give a yellow too early. I mean, you knew what Driussi was doing there, and I'm not saying it should be yellow, but you got to now watch him.
The refereeing world, not a bad take there, but the refereeing world is really interesting in terms of like the feel of games and not giving yellows too early because the precedent you set and all of that. It's interesting. It's hard to get it right, but like I definitely don't ever, like not even my kids, I don't feel like reffing anything ever. I did one junior high softball match and I got yelled at by everyone, including the parents, the other refs. I was just filling in and I was like, nah, I can see why that's not for me, man. Like,
I used to do club soccer games because it was a nice way to make a little bit of money. And by the way, when they have you referee games, it's not like, oh yeah, I'll drop in, I'll do one this weekend. They're like, no, we need you to do like 7. And you're like, wait, 7? And it just to be yelled at and ridiculed, and then knowing the whole time that like, wait, especially for you, if you were to do a game, be like, I know more about this than all of you guys.
Well, there's
combined.
always these theories now of like there should always be a former player sitting in these like bar rooms or like giving context of like touch and feel to the moment. Or
if they asked you to
like,
do it, would you?
Yeah, I think it would be really fun. I also think that players who think that they would be great at it would quickly realize that a lot of it is just, the game's gotten so fast now that it's so hard to see. Oh man, this is going to get real heated. Yep. It's already going both ways.
The teams are already losing their minds. The funny thing is, it is chippy, but also they're not really mad at each other. They're mad at the referee.
Yeah.
Which is going to be great. It's just going to make for great entertainment.
Oh, there's definitely a foul there, pulling on the shirt from behind. Come on.
I think a lot of these teams know each other very well, and I think they think Chicho, his reputation precedes himself sometimes.
Okay.
All right, Heath, we have somebody that you've worked closely with. They call him the voice of LAFC.
Ooh.
Max Bretos is joining us. Where in the world is Max Bretos, as always? Max, how are you?
What do you mean? What is that supposed to mean? They call him the voice of LAFC.
Oh. Was there a handball? Uh-oh, Max, there might be some things to sort out as you jump on. No, I say where in the world are you? You're such a jet setter, and you're everywhere and anywhere.
Okay.
Hey, Max, answer Vince's question. He's driving. He's cruising this ship right now. Don't avoid
What
the
else
question.
did you
Where
say?
are you?
Because a player that I've known very well. I'm here in a grotto somewhere.
A grotto. Ooh, what do we think? Handball?
I'm in a grotto. Look, let me show you where I'm at. I'm at the studios of Univision.
Okay.
Univision here. There you see.
I'm not going to lie to you, Max. We can't see you. We can't see you. We got all eyes on the game anyways.
I'm a little bit behind, but I'm just seeing the handball a few seconds ago. And what was that on Driussi coming in hot on Hollingshead? That you don't get a card for that?
That's what I'm saying.
That was obviously.
There's some playoff vibes, some tension in this game so far, which I like.
Yeah. I don't think that's a handball, but I'm sure you guys are ahead, but they're going to review it. But still worth a shout.
Yeah, no handball. I think definitely something, if you're Gareth Bale, you try for it.
How's the watch party?
Max, there are a lot of people here. They set out a lot of chairs, and I was wondering, are we actually going to fill this? And it's now standing room only.
We're moving to arenas next.
Loud.
We're moving to sold out arenas next.
Yep. Heath,
that's the Heath Pearce effect. You go there, people show up.
Right?
In massive numbers.
Hey, Heath and I are a two-piece right now, but maybe we can fit you in, three-man band. I think we could take this on the road.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go. I'll be your Neil Peart. I'll be your late Neil Peart, obviously, to your Geddy Lee.
This is where you always lose me, Max. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying.
That's a rush.
Okay.
Rush.
See,
Rush.
I know Vince is a purveyor of the music, but you gotta simplify for me, Max.
Okay. Sorry. I'll be the Stuart Copeland to your Sting.
Okay. Is
that better?
Yeah, that's better. It's better.
So, Max, we've watched a little bit of the match. We're now in the 13th minute, and Heath probably knows this as well as I do. You're always my barometer for how I should feel. Like, how nervous should I have been coming into this game? Like, what were your emotions coming into this?
I wasn't really nervous. I mean, even if like LAFC were to lose this game, that's when the nerves would kick in, because this is obviously a much more important game for Austin because they need it to stay in touch with LAFC. And even John Champion said at the beginning of the broadcast, if LAFC wins this, they'll be over the hill and far away with regards to the Western Conference. So there's much more pressure on Austin FC. That said, you want to see a response for LAFC. They had a struggle against San Jose. They weren't really in prime LAFC form against DC United, not scoring goals like they did. So, there's a little stretch here where you wonder if they are finding it a little harder to score goals. So I'm optimistic the way they started. I think there's some nerves because you don't want to creating bad habits, but so far so good, I suppose. A minor panic because you don't want to set into that area where a loss becomes a losing streak.
Minor panic. That might be the name of our band.
Yeah. No, I agree with you though, Max. I think it's hard when you bounce back, but there's been so much rotation from that squad to this one. I mean, what's your take on Gareth Bale in the lineup? You and I begged for that a few times, and here we go.
I was enjoying our conversation. Producer Chris Contreras already says you guys can let me go, and I said, I just got here. The guy's already getting in my ear. He's like, "You're good, dude. I'm fine. I'm staying here for the duration." But by the way, this is an incredible event. I love the fact that these are two clubs that didn't make the postseason last year, and now it's this marquee. It's been the biggest game of the season. This is the biggest game of the season based on the standings, based on the way these teams have played. They're great entertainers. This is a game that if you're an MLS fan, you're a neutral, you have to tune in for.
It's interesting the way it's setting up, too. It's like each team is taking chances and then resetting and being like, okay, now you go. It's really kind of toe-to-toe in that way.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't seen them, but maybe that's the respect factor. It looks like Austin's not pressing as much.
Yeah, but the game does feel open, right, Max? Right. I mean, in your take so far?
Yeah, and it was weird because I was talking to Adrian Healy and Michael LaHood of Austin FC. They had a Twitter Spaces there, and we're going, what kind of game are we expecting? Sorry, I'm a busy man. I was hanging out with Jack Nicholson at the Playboy Mansion, and what he told me was... But we were wondering, okay, these are the top scoring teams. Are we going to get this high scoring event? I go, it's hard to, I didn't visualize it. the way the game has started, there's goals to be had here. That said, we don't have one. It's just 15 minutes. But it feels like maybe we're leaning more into a goal-a-palooza more than a grinded-out one-settle affair right now.
Well, to that point, and now there's a penalty shout on the other side. In Austin's last 3 home matches, there's been 20 goals scored between the two teams, 10 for each. So there are goals in this building.
And we also talked about Austin's not poor, but substandard home form, certainly compared to their road form. This is where you can get Austin at home, which is odd because this place is unbelievable. This place is buzzing right now. And it's hard to imagine that Austin dropped that many points here. And I kind of find it hard to believe that they would drop their guard here in the biggest game in the club's history, that they wouldn't be completely locked in to be a bit of a bully at home.
Are you surprised they're going to rewatch this?
Yeah, I mean, Max, have you seen this moment with Hollingshead yet?
Yes, with Driussi.
Yeah, Driussi, kind of a little payback moment for the tackle earlier.
I really hope that's not the case with Ryan Hollingshead, but if they're looking at it, the numbers say that they overturn it if he goes to the monitor.
Well, they're waiting.
There was a push, but there can't be a penalty.
No, he went down.
You set a very poor standard if you think that's a penalty. We'll have 5 penalties here tonight.
Tell him, Max.
Yeah, Driussi's a cagey one, but I mean, he gets in these spaces.
Look at the All-Star game.
He's a talented guy.
All-Star game, he was playing like as an 8. And I know it was an All-Star game, but he was getting at it. Like he was running both sides of the ball. Like he's a gamer.
Hey, Max.
Yes, sir.
Who do you think is the better dressed of these former national teamers on the sideline?
Former dressed, it has to be, you mean
Cherundolo or Wolf? He's got that bright color on today, Wolf.
Yeah, well, Wolf has to wear green, which isn't the ideal color if you want to make a statement fashion-wise.
Yeah.
I like green, but I mean, usually stick with black or blue or white or gray in shirts. He pulls it off, though. Josh looks good. He's in great shape, as is Steve. But Josh Wolf's got that great hair, though. I think Steve would concede that as well. I mean, we can't compete with Josh's hair.
I mean, look.
He has
Josh
4 kids. He's got 2 kids in MLS. It's amazing.
That's true. He does have that going for him.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy, but Josh Wolf's his dress on the sideline gives me like old-timey Pop Warner football or like softball coach. It's the collar's too big on that polo.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. There's finally some honest criticism over here, Max. Given the soft criticism.
You lost me.
Well, good chance he'll see Josh Wolf more than I will. So.
Yeah. Great player. I mean, both these guys are great players. It's really cool to see former American players that were at a high level on the sideline in Major League Soccer. That's why hopefully one day we get to see Heath there. And Heath's got great hair. Heath's a good dresser. And he has the credibility as a former U.S. international.
Yeah.
And MLS campaign.
I just got to learn how to coach.
Yeah,
I got all the other stuff.
Is coaching in your future?
Yeah.
Have you done your badges?
Clearly, Max thinks so. I got my B coaching license right now, but
wait, don't former players start out at?
Has to be.
Okay.
After certain years,
I'm just clarifying.
Skip straight to the B.
Okay, got it.
It would have been better if you didn't say that. So it seemed like I went from like the F or whatever it starts at. It's all the way clawed my way to the B.
We all know that you're going for the UEFA one next.
Yeah,
so those are 2 different animals for sure.
And so obviously I've got the look according to Max. I've just got to put the rest together,
How come I can't see you guys? I really want to see what Heath was wearing.
Heath, describe your outfit.
I'm wearing a T-shirt, Max, over here. It's tucked in, though. I'm going for like some fashion points. You can't see it because we got a desk here, but I went casual because the vibe here is. It's tense right now because of the game, but the people here are cool. It's a cool crowd here, so I tried to.
Have you guys?
Up a bit.
Have you guys sampled the fare there? Have you had any beer or any tequila shots or anything, or
just
or any
water
food?
So far? But we will have some of the Forever Black and Gold Pizza, the tribute to Mo Facio. That is coming to us before halftime, and we're excited for that.
Oh, brilliant! And what a great cause too, and to remember Mo. And I think that's what is great about the contributions that Mo made. They're never to be forgotten. And the 3252 said that, and they meant it. And every year that goes by, they'll remember Mo, and we'll remember Mo, and that's just. the impact that Mo would have wanted to have, that he would have been remembered. So fantastic. Well done, everyone there on that part. And by the way, Austin, I know I'm a little bit behind, but Austin feels like they're getting a better hold of this game.
They are starting to get a little more control. Max, we are going to have to let you go, though, because we've got some prizes to give away.
You got it.
So there goes.
Let me know if it gets out of hand. I want to know what's going on.
Yes, thank you, Max. I'm sure you'll be watching on the stream. It's always great to have Max Bretos on with us.
You guys are the best.
There he goes, the voice of LAFC.
I'll leave.
The voice of LAFC. Yeah, leave anytime you want, or you can stick around.
We're not gonna ask the next time, Max. We're just gonna kick you out.
Yeah. But we are at a moment where we need to start giving away some prizes.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're going to go to Katia. Katia, you have some people with you for some trivia. What do you got?
Time to give away our first prize of the evening. I'm here with Jonathan and with Hugo to see who can win this dad hat, awesome hat. So it's going to be a trivia question. We're going to see who gets it right, and then you get the hat. So the question is, are you guys ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it.
You have to raise your hand first if you have the answer, and then we'll see. And then we'll see who gets the hat. So let's go. In 2018, LAFC set a record for points by an expansion team in its inaugural MLS season. How many points did LAFC earn that season?
I believe it was 71, if I'm not mistaken.
That was 2019.
Oh, you said 2018.
Okay, you can answer that.
It was 65.
No. So we're gonna give you guys one more chance, and then think about your answer, and whoever is closest will get the hat, okay? So Jonathan, since you had raised your hand first, what's your answer?
I'm gonna say 2018 they had a point. You said points the whole season? 48? I'm gonna say 48. 2018.
Okay, 48 final answer. What's gonna be your final answer?
55.
55. So the winner is Hugo. We'll get the hat because the answer is 57 points. So he was closest. So Hugo, congratulations. Here's your LAFC hat. So there we go. Hugo, thank you so much. Jonathan, thank you for participating. We're going to have more prizes. So there we have it.
Thank you, Katia. Come from behind victory. They went hard.
Dug deep.
71
Yeah.
points first.
Listen, you start with the ambitious answer. You got perhaps the year wrong, but it is nice to know that the club is capable of achieving that level of numbers. But then a chance for redemption.
I want you to comment on what Max Bretos said before he jumped off. He said it looks like Austin's starting to get a foothold. I still feel like it's there, like no one's really gotten it, but I kind of am starting to agree with him as Austin kind of inches into territory.
I've missed the last 2 minutes. I was listening to trivia. I literally, I was looking up in the sky.
We just saw Josh Wolf. What do you think about my take of Josh Wolf as softball coach and or Pop Warner coach from the 1970s?
Yeah, I can see that. Like the heavy starch collar, a little bit too prevalent of a collar. I could see that being the case.
And the button down that goes really low. I mean, he doesn't unbutton it really low. If he had those short, like baseball coach shorts on, you definitely would see it, right?
Whistle.
How come no managers wear shorts on this island? It's hot.
It is hot. I mean, luckily it seems like the shade has come in on the stadium, so it's probably cooled a little bit. But I know it's certainly not cool out right now there.
I mean, that for me, seeing that from Maxime Crepeau, it's honestly been. I mean, he's obviously a great shot stopper, but that's been almost the biggest part of the game, like controlling your box.
Yeah.
That LAFC needed, and they had not had any previous goalkeeper.
I mean, it's true. Like, I've played with a number of goalkeepers. Some were good on the ball, some weren't. Some were great shot stoppers. A whole range of goalkeepers. But when you have somebody that you can just trust, right? When it's their time, or if they call that ball, they're going to come out and get it every time. When they're there and you know that they're covering you, it makes such a difference when you're a back line because it's one less thing to think about or worry about, right? So a ball in transition gets behind you, you know where they're going to be. They become predictable, and it's such an underrated part of building a quality or a championship caliber team is what your goalkeeper does outside of just the saves. How they're communicating, how they're moving, that confidence that they give to your players is can't be kind of understated.
we talk about controlling games, right? And you can head a ball out, but the fact is they'll come right back at you most times, right? That second ball. If your goalkeeper can catch it and hold it, I mean, that is in fact control, right? I mean, so having the ability, and again, like you said, the trust.
Yeah. Well, it's again knowing that if he's going to come out hard and make a save, or if he's in the right position, you know he's more often than not gonna deliver. It allows you to, again, sort of, you're not going to cheat, but you're not going to have to worry about, I need to follow up every single thing, or I need to almost alter the way that I play to prevent certain things. And Mac's been a revelation for this team in terms of his progress so far this season.
The biggest, I think, difficulty for Steve Cherundolo is finding the balance between Boyle and Velo, because they both think and look at the game in similar manners. And so now Rondo's sitting up front by himself.
Sifu's been so good. He can do almost everything, but when you see those 10-yard slack passes and it turns into this, that's like the next level, right?
Yeah, and he's cut out that a decent amount this year compared to last. You know, he really struggled with some of those things. We saw that actually, not so much Sifu against San Jose, but we saw just that sloppy sort of out of rhythm passing in the first half of all of it. LAFC, just obviously a lot of squad rotation, a lot of changes in the team, so there wasn't that rhythm. Guys were checking when the ball was played through. Guys are running through and the ball gets checked underneath. And those passes really have an effect over time in building a rhythm and being able to sort of settle in again and reset. And so you want to cut those out, especially because they've been defending, as we're seeing, for decent amounts of periods. Sometimes you got to be able to put your foot on the ball, secure it, allow your defense to get a break and come up underneath you. So easier said than done, and he's obviously gotten better at that. But it's a big part of just any sort of game management.
Right, and it's those little it's rhythm. This one actually turned into a chance for Austin. So it's like, yes, we're nitpicking here, but if they want to take this next step, that's really what you got to be sharp at every moment on the ball. Like, you can't turn off for a hot second.
Exactly. And you saw there that could have been another transitional moment of knowing when to just hold the ball, secure it, be a little bit physical. But it's exactly that. And again, I go back to, you're right, I see the collar. It's a stiff collar.
Look at that collar.
It's a stiff collar. I agree with you on that.
This is what people come to the LAFC watch parties. The official LAFC watch party, sponsored by Heineken here at Brooklyn Ave Pizza Co. I'm Vince Rosa. That's Heath Pearce. We got a little break in the action as Sifu's down, but we've been commenting on manager styles. And if you're looking at Josh Wolf right now, I'm just saying, softball coach or 1970s Pop Warner football coach.
Yeah, I can see it. I see the clipboard in the hand, you know.
If he had a headset.
Yeah, headset. I could see that, but certainly good to see. I've got such an appreciation for former players that stay fit and healthy when they're capable of that, when they retire and kind of keep that fitness to them. Josh Wolf obviously looks extremely fit, and that's why he's wearing a very tight polo.
We need to stop hiring guys like Heath Pearce to sit next to me, because you're a former player and you're fit, and I don't enjoy this.
I just wear baggier clothes. You know, the clothes get baggier to sort of make up for the lack of fitness that I've been doing lately.
Yeah, I mean, we're only like, you wouldn't know it, but we're actually like 3 weeks apart in age.
Yeah, that's right.
That's terrifying. It's terrifying for me.
1984. Any 1984 people out there watching this stream? Love to know.
There's a 1984 guy, Giorgio Chiellini.
That's right. He looks older than me, I'll tell you that.
He's a day younger than you.
Man. Euro 2020 winner and 9-time Serie A champion. I mean, what an absolute baller and competitor. And I've said this a number of times, Vince, but you know, Gareth Bale talking about top of the table, and then Chiellini, just him coming in, and both of them sort of, it's not what they said, it's how they said it. I think that differentiates them and their role with this team from teams of the past, right? You bring in big name players, they're meant to make the team, but they've been very...
Ooh. Okay, yeah, that's where you got to bring a yellow out.
Yeah, smart yellow.
He kind of got left out to dry by his teammates there. Yeah. And he had to do what he had to do there.
You had to do what you had to do, and he got a chance to get a little extra lick on Drusy, who's been a little bit of a stirrer so far.
Yeah, I mean, this game, it's been tense. Just to show you guys, the crowd here, they've been shouting, hooting, and hollering. They didn't like this call, but Heath and I got to say, when you make this mistake, it's just, like, you got to do that. I know, you got to be careful, though.
turns it into an attack.
But
Oh.
so he gets a little extra there that I think you got to worry about.
Oh, looks like he's a little off balance and slipping as he's coming back up.
Yeah.
And look, anytime you're in that situation, you want to put a body in front of them and prevent them from going through. And it looks like he's just off balance in a way that catches an elbow a little bit on him. Definitely doesn't look like it was on purpose, that's for sure.
Yeah, this goes back to refereeing, right? It's kind of like you have to, I know we're not supposed to take intent too much into it, but like, you know what he's doing there. He's not trying to elbow the guy in the face.
I mean, when you keep looking at the replay, though, it just...
I know, there seems like there's a little extra oomph. Because I think he thought, because like you said, he slips. He's like, I'm going to get his chest. We'll be fine.
Yeah, but if he was running past me, I'd have my arm out, right? This is where his arm comes out.
Right.
It's just that when that arm closes and that elbow gets a little bit sharp, that you worry about. And it all happens so fast, but I don't think the intent is there whatsoever. It's just a matter of he's coming from a slipping moment, he's getting his arm out to stop him, take the yellow card that he know he does, and now they've got to sort of take a deeper look. But, could have all been prevented.
By being a little tighter on the ball.
Yeah, a little tidier on the ball. This is the thing about Maria last year, is just really hurt the team with some of these types of mistakes. And Segura made him so good, and now to have him back to be able to clean up some of those messes, hopefully that raises the level between them. Maria's also gotten much better this year.
Well, Chiellini, right? Not who I expected to take that free kick.
Wow.
Talk about guys in age. Fagundes is still like 27.
It's crazy.
He's been in this league for... I feel like he might have played when you played.
I saw him. He was in the league when I played. His first 2 years, I believe. But I saw him when he was a teenager in a hotel. They were having like the Revolution Academy team was there for some. I can't remember where I was. What a hit!
Oh.
What a hit!
No chance. Even with the wall jumping, no chance.
Yeah, there's.
This is the angle. Ooh.
I mean, it's
Max
not.
puts in a good effort.
He does, and it's not super deep into the corner, but it's hit with so much pace that, by the time he sees that ball's going past him. I mean, just a phenomenal hit.
And that's like insult to injury too, because your center back is now on a yellow. You're down a goal.
Well, this goes down to, again, what I was saying before, which is preventable moment, right? Murillo, of course, wants to keep the ball there, and he has the right intentions, but that's when you need that 100% sharpness to be able to deliver in that moment. You give away that ball, it draws that foul, you put a team who can obviously score from set pieces in a dangerous spot. You give a yellow card to your center back partner who may be in a tough position later on in the game and not able to make that certain play. And so you're right, it compounds a little bit, but certainly preventable, the situation they've now found themselves in.
And obviously they worked it out, but I do have to go back to this. If Driussi's standing over that ball, you think he's taking it? Fagundes takes it, obviously buries it, but like that's a big time moment.
I mean, that was huge. He hit that with so much pace that, again, I mean, Crepeau came over pretty well and read it pretty well, but by the time he was able to set his feet and go after it, that ball was going past him.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, again, this is the official LAFC watch party, and we're now watching a game where LAFC is going to have to come from behind. They actually have been so good when they score the first goal this season. They're perfect, 14-0, but this will be another one where they're on the road. They're going to have to overturn a deficit. The crowd behind us has gone completely silent.
I know, but it's also gotten completely full in here.
Oh, yeah, it's completely full. But you can hear, after that, you heard an O, and then you pin drop.
Yeah, it's... Again, it's weirdly, when I was watching the press conference of Steve before the San Jose game, he was talking about sort of, again, cutting out those moments where you're giving goals. The team's gotten really good at that. And that's a situation where, yeah, it didn't directly lead to a goal, but it was a preventable moment in terms of a bad turnover that leads to a foul. And obviously an unbelievable, you can't predict that someone's going to hit from there with the pace and quality that he hit with, but it's another preventable moment for the team that they've been punished for. That thematic of last year, of being punished for all mistakes last year compared to this year, but one that, again, is avoidable and they're going to have to learn from.
They're going to have to find their footing here. I think we both had the same reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
you're on the ball, 25 yards from goal. You've got a couple options one way, and you get snuck up from behind.
I mean, you don't have a couple options. You have Carlos Vela on one side and Gareth Bale on the other. It doesn't matter. Just give them the ball.
Right.
At that point, I mean, they weren't making dynamic runs. There should be more dynamic runs in that situation. They were just pretty easy to predict. But if I'm that player on the ball and I'm not Carlos Vela and I'm not Gareth Bale, I am putting them in the position to say, okay, you make some magic out of this. Because, again, the runs weren't there, but you just got to release that ball and see what they can do with it.
Well, Latif is so good in tight spaces.
Yeah.
But when he gets into the open field, it's like he wants the perfect ball. And to your point, roll it out to your stars, bro.
Yeah, just give it to the stars. I mean, I played with some incredible center backs in my career that knew exactly what to do. Get the ball and then give it to the person closest to you, because they weren't great on the ball, and they also knew there was other people that were better on the ball. So just, there is a real beauty. You know, people made a lot of money for a lot of years of knowing how to play simply and get it to your star players.
And your team just got punched in the face too,
Yeah.
right? So your stars are the ones that are gonna have to lift the mood back up anyways.
Yeah, and at times, you know, you as a player, you want to be, you see that as a moment for you to be able to lift up the team and create something, and you get caught up in a moment like that where it ends up being nothing, when the right decision was to probably just lay that ball off to one of your wingers right away.
Okay, we're gonna lighten the mood a little bit. We're gonna give away a prize. Ooh. We're gonna toss to Katia. Katia, please lighten the mood and please give away something to one of these great fans here so that we can maybe get back on track.
That's what I was thinking. There's still a lot of game left, so we need to keep that energy up, and we have another prize for our fans. So this is another LAFC hat. We're going to see who gets it right. I'm here with Dapo and Eddie, and you guys are here together, right? You're friends?
Yes, we're definitely we are.
So now there's a little rivalry in this moment to see who gets the hat. So guys, are you ready?
Yes, let's do it. I'm nervous.
Okay, so the question is, who is the youngest goal scorer in LAFC history? So raise your hand if you know the answer.
I think I know. Opoku?
No. What's your guess?
Brian Duke, right? Duke, no, Duke, what's his name?
Bryce Duke.
Yes, Bryce Duke.
That's his name, but that's not the correct answer.
Oh my God.
Oh no. So we're going to give you another opportunity. So this is a player that has played for the Mexican national team.
Okay.
He has played for the Mexican national team. He's a product. It's getting intense. The game's getting intense, but we're still getting the energy up. So he's a product of the LAFC Academy. He has played for the Mexican national team, youth Mexican national team. He shares a last name. If you remember a former Spanish national team player that is nicknamed El Niño, Fernando. They share the same last name? No? Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit easier.
He's still a current player?
Yes, he's playing with Las Vegas Lights right now.
But he came out of the academy. I don't know any of the younger guys.
Okay, the name starts with Chris. I'm going to make it a little bit easier here.
No, it's not ringing a bell.
Not these younger guys. I don't know.
No?
Out of the academy, no.
Okay. We're gonna think of another way to make you guys go at it to the prize, and then I'm gonna go back to you guys. We're gonna find another question, and then we can come back.
Gave him so many good hints, and the chat has got it. It's Christian Torres.
Should have been in the chat.
I'm gonna change the question.
Should have been in the chat. Let's see. I even have it written down here. 16 years, 183 days old.
That-
Scored his first MLS goal. By the way, in Portland too. Not an easy place to score, although not crowds
At
all
all.
the time.
Yeah, I remember getting scored on in Portland, and that place popping off, and me being like, man, I feel far from home.
Okay.
This is where it starts getting
Yeah, let's talk about the WWE that just has broken out here.
There is some actually proper WWE in there. Urruti is a player that I personally, this is not with my analyst or whatever hat on, I don't like him. Every time I've had an encounter with him, he's arrogant. Look at this. This feels real WWE. I mean, pushing, shoving. Oh, he tried to swim him. Maria was like, nah, I'm not having any of that. But he's a guy that I just, man, he's arrogant, Urruti. And I've always just sort of been like, this guy's rubbing me the wrong way.
All right, we're gonna throw to the crowd as we take a closer look at this with everything that's going on. Mario's still upset, as he should be. Do we think this referee was like, hey, got a nice top of the table clash, and now more anytime he goes to his ear, you got to be terrified.
Yeah, he's going back. I mean, they can either just sweep this under the rug, or if it gets a little heated, they're gonna have to look at the video of some of this stuff, because there was a lot going on in there.
All right, guys, we've been vamping a little bit because we got a special delivery. I'm gonna take that mic. Chef, first your name.
Jorge Sandoval.
Jorge, Vince, Heath. You are the one that helped create this pizza that's for a good cause. If we can go, let's take a look at this bad boy.
Calling it the black and gold. 25% of the sales are going to go to the charitable event today. To help out.
Okay, so when I'm looking at this, look, obviously pepperoni, king of all toppings for pizza. You can't go wrong with that. But tell me about like the fermented sourdough. Educate me now here. Why fermented sourdough?
A lot more richer flavor, natural leaven. We're using a 24-year-old sourdough starter that I got gifted down to me, and it makes the dough a lot more flavorful, a lot more richer. Overall, you can't go wrong with sourdough.
Wait, did I hear you right? 24 years?
And it was gifted down to you?
Yeah, by one of my old mentors.
Okay. So this is some proprietary, you know.
It's a real staple here.
Top secrets fermented sourdough. Gives you the better flavor. And again, to remind people, it goes to a great cause. You guys this is going to run through next weekend, right?
Yes.
Okay, so come out to Brooklyn Avenue Pizza, buy the Mo Fazio, the Black and Gold Forever Pizza. 25% of proceeds goes to the Mo Fazio court that we're building in East LA. For you, I'm sure if you could guess how many pizzas you've made in your entire life.
My entire life is good. 10, 20,000 pieces.
Okay. How many have been a tribute to something that like this is going towards a futsal court that like you're building pizzas, you're actually building a court in a way. Like how does that feel?
It feels great. Be able to just get back to the community and have fun with what we do here in our neighborhood.
I like that. I'm just staring at this thing, man. I'm trying to eat some of this.
I see you doing that. Why don't you grab a piece?
Okay.
Heath, while I still talk to Chef.
Is there a right way to grab a piece here based on this type of pizza?
Yeah, just like grabbing it, folding it, and taking a big bite.
We are at Brooklyn Avenue Pizza, so you got to fold, right? Because that's a very New York.
Just like this, right?
There we go. Oh.
Am I good? Am I good? What you guys chatting?
Yeah.
All right.
That's got to make you, when people, the joy.
First bite to the last bite, they always enjoy it.
That's the best part about being a pizza man, right? Like, everyone's happy for pizza.
Oh, of course.
No one sees you and is like, oh man, I don't know.
Everyone enjoys it. Can't complain.
He's still going through it. We'll give him a second before he gives his thoughts. Let's just say this: this match is like high level, and Heath is fully consumed by the pizza. That's how good this pizza is.
Yeah, I'm not a big sausage fan, but this is unbelievable the way it comes together. You know, sometimes it can be a lot for me, but this is phenomenal. You guys can keep on talking. I'll be over here just doing my thing. You know.
What's the chef's favorite pizza? What's your favorite?
Mine is our pepperoni and our Bianco pizza.
Okay. And does that have tomato sauce, or because it's Bianco doesn't?
The Bianco is cream base.
Oh, so it is a little tomato with cream.
Caramelized onions and spinach. Can't go wrong.
And a big save as you're explaining that, which is great.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, age-old question, and they've asked a lot of people this on LAFC, and I think you know where I'm going here. Pineapple on a pizza. Yes or no? Of course.
We do a little our take with a spicy pineapple chutney for our pizza.
Okay. Well, so you're zhuzhing it up. You're making it your spicy chutney. Okay, that's another level. So Brooklyn Avenue Pizza, you can come get pineapple on a pizza on a higher level, elevated.
Elevate it, kick it up a little bit, make it happen.
I believe that's the restaurant term for it, right? Elevated. Well, Thank you, chef. Thank you so much. And again, this pizza, I'm going to enjoy it as soon as you go. I'm going to get mine so after Heath gets his piece in. But I want to say thank you from myself, from LAFC, and again, this is going to a great cause. We can't.
Thank you.
We can't just and pizza. Like pizza gets me speechless. Thank you, chef.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Cool.
There he goes, the chef of Brooklyn Avenue Pizza. Heath and I now have this incredible pizza to share just before halftime as Maxime Capot keeps LAFC in this game.
5 minutes of stoppage here.
Well, that's enough time for me to eat some pizza then.
Yeah.
Do we have to? Me and you have to like trade bites though, so that someone is no dead air.
Drive the ship.
Although there's plenty on offer for you guys to watch and to think about. I mean, if you're in the chat, just speak amongst yourselves, make friends.
Yeah.
Chat's a great place to make friends.
It's really good though. I'm not gonna lie, Vince. This is exactly what I hoped it would be, and even better than that. Not the first half from LAFC, obviously, but the pizza I'm talking about specifically. But we know they're a second half team.
We do know they're second half team. I got some stats on that. But we're going to go back to Katia because we want to give away this prize. We're giving away this prize. Also, tactical error, Katia. We do not have any napkins here. So we're eating pizza, Katia. We have no napkins. Somebody's going to fly in and get us some napkins. So, Katia, please take it away while Heath and I find a place to wipe our hands.
Please, someone get them some napkins so they can wipe their hands. So LAFC is a second half team, and here we're going to have a second opportunity to give away this hat because I still have it in my hands, and I want to give it away. So, guys, second opportunity. Are you ready?
I think so.
We made it a little bit easier for you, so here's the question. In 2019, LAFC set a record for points in a single season to secure the Supporter Shield. How many points did LAFC have during the 2019 season? Just give me your best shot. Give me your best guess. Who wants to go first?
43.
43 points.
70.
Okay, so like we did last time, I was gonna choose who gets closest to the answer. So we're gonna lock that as your final answer. So, Capo, you're the winner because the answer is 72.
Oh my God!
So you were like really, really close. So
Thank you.
here's a hat.
Thank you.
And then we have a winner. Yeah, let's crown him. There we go. So they're trying to do it again and get that supporter shield. We're gonna have more prizes to give away, and we need to keep that energy up. We need to just keep cheering the team on from here. So, guys, that's what we're gonna try and do. Back to you.
What a pro. What a pro. She takes the second half comment that we have, wings it into her chat. 43.
I'm not a pro. I'm still eating this pizza, man.
But you're laughing.
You're giving me plenty of time. I wrapped up almost that whole first slice, but yeah, that first guess was way off, you know?
But we do love to give away prizes. Look, we're not hoarding these prizes. Heath and I don't need these for our personal collection. We want to give this away because, again, I look out here, man. It's not professional to be looking behind me, but the crowd back here is, it's more than standing room only. Like,
yeah, it's getting more and more and more and more and more crowded. Like, there's no seats left in here.
Like, we might have to be careful with the fire marshal at this point.
Someone's going to come and ask us if we're using our seats.
Yeah, incredible job.
The second half.
Yeah, incredible job by LAFC fans to come out here. Obviously, it is for a good cause, so I can't blame them for being here. Big match as well, so hopefully they're all buying the pizza that Heath and I are sharing, the black and gold pizza. We're getting close to half.
I don't know if these guys can see this thing. This is beautiful.
I know. It's so good, too.
Close to half. You know, another minute or so going to half. I think 1-0 is probably fair based on that. It was wide open from the very beginning, which I thought was really fun, entertaining. Obviously, it becomes less fun and less entertaining when the other team goes up 1-0. But at least it's been, again, weirdly, we always say, like, it's got that playoff energy. But playoffs don't always have this energy. It's always, especially against LAFC, teams will go like, oh, we'll just play ugly against you and try to disrupt your game and make it ugly and see if we can squeak out a result. So it's a poorly used term sometimes, but this kind of energy makes it exciting.
Snatched at it a little bit there.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask you is, even though 1-0 does seem about fair, LAFC's response though, to the goal hasn't, probably not what you want if you're Steve Cherundolo.
Well, I don't know if it's not what you wanted. I don't think Austin have had a ton. I think both teams have sort of continued to do what they were doing and stick to their game plan. The upside is that LAFC didn't look shook after that goal, right? They don't look far from home. They don't look like they're just trying to survive and get into halftime. Looks like they're still trying to play their game, and I think with a few adjustments, hopefully we'll see something different in the second half.
And that will bring us into halftime. It is 1-0. But to go to half, I've got a prize for the chat.
Okay.
I've got a prize for the chat.
I thought you looked at me like you were going to give it to me, and I was excited about it.
Unfortunately, Heath, but I think you have one of these. It's going to be the Juneteenth Community Top. Now, if you're in the chat, this is only for you. No one in this room can win this but you guys. But listen to this question, and let me tell you how you can win. I'm gonna ask the question. You're going to send the answer to @110football on Instagram to the DMs. Slide a note into our DMs with the answer. First person there, you get the Juneteenth top, okay?
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to read the question twice and then remind you where to send your answer, and then you guys are on your own, okay? So this is for you, chat. Of the 28 teams currently playing in MLS, LAFC has defeated all but 2 over its first 5 seasons. Name one of the 2 teams LAFC has yet to earn 3 points against in MLS regular season play. I'll read that one more time because it can be a little confusing, but basically what I'm asking you is name one of the 2 teams LAFC has not beaten over its 5 years. So of the 28 teams currently playing in MLS, LAFC has defeated all but 2 over its 5 seasons. Name one of the 2 teams LAFC has yet to earn 3 points against. And you're going to want to slide into the DMs at 110football on Instagram. So slide into those DMs. With the first one to answer, you get the top. Not Heath. Heath, do you already have one?
I know one.
You know one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, once we get someone with the answer, we'll announce.
But I don't have the top either. So I might just DM it.
Oh,
see
yeah.
if I can,
Maybe, hey, get on your phone.
Under my burner account.
But Heath, you're going to have time to get on your phone because we are at halftime. We're going to throw to In Touch. It's our weekly chat with Steve Cherundolo. Every week it comes out on LAFC's YouTube channel, so check out In Touch with Steve Cherundolo.
2 flags.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another week with Steve Cherundolo. This is In Touch with Steve Cherundolo. If you're new here, welcome. You've got a great opportunity here because we're going to have a good episode for you, but then you've got like 24 more episodes you can go back and watch. I'm Vince. That's Steve. Steve, how are you this week?
Scared me for a minute. I thought we were doing 24 more of these this season. I mean, well, there's not that many games left.
But if we had to, would you do 24 more?
I would love to do it. It's lovely seeing you here. We have a good time. Let's get into it.
Right answer. That's the right answer. Steve, if you notice, I have no cards today because we're going to be doing a little bit of competition. And if you were thinking about skipping through the competition, I'm going to warn you right now. Make sure you stay till the very end, but we'll save that for a second. Let's talk a little bit about San Jose. It was a moment, 3 games, 8 days. So you took it upon you as a coach and with your staff, moment for you to rotate guys, get some guys some rest. My question is, when you're starting to plan the rotation, how do you start to think about partnerships and guys on the field? Because the style of play, I feel like for LAFC is a lot of it is intuitive. So how do you kind of put guys together when you're doing that?
Sure, a lot of it, all of those factors are taken into consideration when deciding a starting 11, and also our ability to change games in the second half with subs. That is also plays a role in our deciding who starts and who comes from the bench. The month of August is very congested. It wasn't just this week, and so there's a lot of travel, a lot of away games, and we feel, to finish the season strong, we need to put these breaks in every once in a while. And I thought the guys did a pretty good job. We were obviously in a few key moments not there, but for the most part, we saw what we want to see from LAFC football.
Muhammad shot goal! Oh, Muhammad does it again!
And one of those upcoming matches is in fact an away game, but it's a huge one. It's against Austin. I'll speak for myself. I think it's probably the biggest game of the season. I don't know how you feel about it, but when you look towards Austin and you look at kind of the consequences of this game, it's a game of consequence, 1 versus 2. Whoever kind of gets one over has maybe that line to get the supporter shield, definitely that line to the top of the Western Conference. But what's the most important thing when you look forward to a match like this, an away match as well?
Well, it'll be a great match. They play a great style of football. They score a lot of goals, very similar to us. I think the difference has been this season as we've defended a little better. We'll have to get back to those defending ways in Austin if we want to come away with something. And I believe the consequences for losing this game are greater for them than us due to the constellation in the table. But we're confident and we're going there as always to win. But also we didn't know to be smart in the last minute. If we come away with a point, then we come away with a point. We'll take that too.
'Cause I can run, but I can't
Well, I told you guys to stick around, and I'm going to deliver now. Steve and I are going streaking. Add the little like Will Ferrell. If producer, somebody could we put the Will Ferrell? We're going streaking. We're not actually going streaking. No. I'm going with you.
Well, I'm certainly not going.
You're not going.
You can go along.
No, what we're doing here is you just came off a 7-game winning streak, which is one of the longest of the season this year. Montreal actually has matched it as well early in the season, but it doesn't happen very often in MLS, especially in this modern era where we don't have the crazy shootouts that they used to do back in the day.
Yes.
So to celebrate that, we're going to do a little contest. Price is Right rules here. We're going to talk about famous streaks in sports pop culture. And we've actually added another layer, and this is why you really want to stick around. Loser has some kind of punishment that we'll come up with, okay? So we'll do the best of whatever the questions, and then winner gets to pick some kind of punishment for the loser. We good there?
I understand the rules. I accept the challenge.
Okay, should we shake on it? Okay, I don't know, I might have gotten myself into something a little bit too heady here. All right. You know what these are. I'm sure you use this a lot in your coaching whiteboards.
Yes.
So we are going to take questions from producer Chris, and then you and I will cover it up and we will reveal our answer. And again, Price is Right rules, so you got to try to get closest without going over, and then bonus point if you get the streak question plus you get who actually accomplished this streak.
Okay.
Cool. All right, let's go, Chris.
What is the longest winning streak in NBA history?
Ooh, okay. Wait, I need to make it bigger, right? Uh-oh. Our penmanship.
Ready when you are.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
Correct answer, 33 games.
33 games?
Good Lord.
Oh, wow.
I apologize to all NBA teams who have come close to that record.
I mean,
I sold you short.
I think we give him the chance with the bonus point. Chance to redeem yourself.
Okay.
Who do you got?
I am going to go with Boston Celtics.
The 1971 Los Angeles Lakers.
That was my second
You should have
guess.
stayed at home.
I know.
Okay.
Number 2, what is the longest hitting streak in MLB history?
Oh, I was a big baseball fan when I was a kid, and I should know this. I want to get this like on the dot.
Longest hitting streak.
If I don't get the streak number right, I do definitely know the bonus point.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not good. This is just a shot in the dark here, guys.
All right, 1, 2, 3. 46. Wait, at least we're in the same ballpark,
right.
Which is fitting for this. What was the answer here?
56 games.
Oh,
Good
see,
for
I wanted
you.
to get it spot on.
Good for you.
Do you know who it is?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
It's Joe DiMaggio.
Oh, all right. I was going to go with a local favorite, Tony Gwynn, but...
that would be a good choice.
Throw Tony some love.
I'm sure he's somewhere in the top 5 and
I'm sure he
hitting
is.
streaks.
I'm sure he is.
Okay, Steve, you gotta start picking it up.
Well, all right. Well, it's easier when you make the rules to the games. Let's go play 1v1 out there, and then you tell me who needs to catch up.
Is that?
It's a challenge.
Yeah, that would actually be a punishment for me. Okay, what do we got?
What is the longest win streak in Division I college football?
Australia. I'm not going to say anything.
Division I. Okay. Oh. I have no clue. All right, 3, 2, 1. No way.
47.
That's pretty unlucky.
That is unlucky.
That's pretty unlucky.
Do you have any guess on who it might be so that you might maybe get a bonus point? Because right now you're 3-0 down.
I know. D1. Oh, it's going to be... It can't be in the modern era. We would have known this. We'll go with Rudy. We'll go with Notre Dame.
From 1953 to 1957, the Oklahoma Sooners.
Never put against that.
There's no chance of getting that.
God, can you imagine what football in the 50s looked like? Still leather helmets then, yeah?
Can't be much different than now.
Right?
Just a bunch of dudes smacking each other.
Okay, let's move on to question 4.
Pop culture.
All right, so this is where you make your comeback.
Why would you assume that?
Because you've been really good about pop culture questions.
All right. I'm positive. Let's go.
What is the longest streak for most weekends at #1 at the box office for a movie?
One of my good friends is absolutely going to crush me. But
did you just call me one of your good friends?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was referring to somebody else.
All right then. Well, as long as we have that on board here. 3, 2, 1. Stop it.
So
I'm not even trying. Like I am trying, but I'm not trying to do this.
We're both in the ballpark.
We're probably nowhere near it.
16.
Yeah. 16.
#1 box office, 16 weeks.
A lot of ways to go with this.
Yeah.
Like, is it a Star Wars? Is it a?
Yeah, it's Star Wars.
Is it Titanic?
Titanic.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's just get my first thought. We'll just go with Titanic.
The answer is E.T.
Oh. You know, I cried First time I saw it in theaters, that movie.
Really?
Yeah. When was E.T.?
It's like
when did it come out?
84?
In the 80s.
Okay, well, -1 for producer Chris not knowing the answer to that. Jeez. Okay, let's move on. You like a comeback story?
Who doesn't?
What is the longest streak for most weeks at #1 for an album on the Billboard music charts?
I feel like
this
I
is what
should
I'm gonna do. I have
feel
a
like,
number, but I'm gonna add one more because that
Yeah, I
seems to
feel
be
like I
working
should know
for you.
this. Yeah.
You actually do know this?
No, I feel like I should. I mean, I do enjoy music quite a bit. 3, 2, 1. Okay, at least you went over me, so
I
hopefully
know,
if it's somebody that was there for a long time.
I'm feeling like 19, 18.
Uh-oh.
The answer is 54.
Oh. There you go.
All right, we got one.
There you go. Do I have to guess the actual album? Dark Side of the Moon.
In 1961, the soundtrack to West Side Story.
Oh wow, never would have got that. I thought my Dark Side of the Moon was a pretty good guess.
So who was buying these things? Like
a lot more people that like
for
theater,
over
musical
a year,
theater.
that was the #1?
Yeah.
I bet you my mom bought it. Hey, Mom.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
What is the longest streak for most weeks at #1 for a song on the Billboard?
Okay, just a single.
Just a single.
So you'd think it'd be more longer than an album, but
No,
I don't
it'd
know.
have to be less though, because to say like one album is better than the other.
Right, albums take longer to make. Singles get put out. You can have multiple singles from
Yes.
similar albums.
Yeah.
So you could even knock yourself off the.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. You went I went 6. You got me to go really low because I thought maybe you were right here. What did we get?
19 weeks.
Oh no!
I knew it.
Oh no! Do you have a guess on what song it might be? You're not gonna. No one's gonna. There's no way we're getting a song.
19 weeks, #1.
Do you know a song from West Side Story?
I don't even. No, definitely not.
Old Town Road by Lil Nas X in 2019.
Oh really?
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
Lil
I wouldn't think a modern song would be in
No,
there.
I didn't. No chance.
What is the longest streak for most seasons aired for a scripted primetime television series in the United States?
How old am I? I'm 43.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in the
Okay.
same ballpark. I think we're both thinking of a certain animated show.
I think so too.
What's the
Currently still going on, 33 seasons.
Okay.
Simpsons? Yeah.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll Steve and I are on the same one. So we'll make this with 6-3 game. Make it a little more.
No.
Okay.
We play by the rules. We finished the game, so it's 6-2. 6-2.
6-2. So that means that you are doing a punishment of my choice. I think I would like to do more of these. So I don't want to set the bar really high on punishment. I'd like when we do challenges from now on, we have some kind of stakes here.
So you like punishing me? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's stakes. It's just like it's what you have to do. Like you guys do this out here when guys have little games. You play crossbar.
Yeah.
What do you normally do?
It's usually just pride on the line.
Okay.
But it's always on the line here with you. So
Yes, of course.
I will accept the punishment.
I'm gonna say again because I would like to do more of these challenges and I don't want to start it too high. I'm gonna keep it with you sitting in this chair. I want you to look directly in the camera and let everybody know that Vince LaRosa is one of the smartest journalists you've ever worked with and has a beautiful football mind.
Okay. It's my camera. Vince LaRosa is a brilliant journalist and has one of the best football minds I have ever come across.
Brilliant. I can't think of a better way to end an episode. This has been In Touch with Steve Cherundolo. We had fun. I hope you stuck along to the very end to see that punishment. You know I'll be clipping it out and putting it on all my social medias. Of course. Love having Steve here. He's obviously a great sport. You guys are always great. We'll see you guys next week. So I got one over on Steve Cherundolo there. He did tell me after taping that he actually was very truthful when he said about me being an amazing journalist.
I was worried that he was gonna, like the way he would change his voice, it would be a little less than genuine, but it was. Turns out you can make him say anything though, which is kind of cool. You know, just gotta get him to bed.
Turns out you can make him say anything. Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, this is the official LAFC watch party here at Brooklyn Ave Pizza Co. Sponsored by Heineken. I'm Vince LaRosa. That's Heath Pearce. And let's go back to Steve Cherundolo for a second there. You're Steve Cherundolo in at halftime. What's the talk you're giving?
I mean, that there's 45. I mean, it's not the first time he said this. 45 more minutes to play. We heard it against San Jose, where he said in the post game, you can't show up at the 46th minute, you got to play 90. But now 45 minutes is gone, so you're looking at the second half. It's a fresh start to get back into this game. They certainly have the talent. They're going to have the opportunities, just whether they take advantage of it.
It looks like Mendez in for Latif. That might be the only change. Yeah. So he brings in Mendez for Latif. Not much changes, although Mendez is maybe a little more defensive.
Yeah, it allows you to probably put Acosta a little higher up the pitch, a little closer to be able to connect the lines, and less so a deep six that he sometimes drifts back into play. So I think changes a little bit, but you still have that triangulation in the midfield there, and hopefully a different set of legs provides a different dynamic.
They're lacking in. They just sold Brian Rodriguez, right? So they're lacking in that depth that they're.
You know what I just realized? We have not talked about, at least going forward, Ryan Hollingshead or Jimmy Blossom. And I know that you'd say, oh, they're fullbacks and they're down a goal. They got to defend first, but you're a fullback. Like, you want to get forward, it takes you off your whole game when you can't kind of get that rhythm, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the cat and mouse game that you play. Oh, I found you napkins, by the way.
I know, thank you. I got some.
I didn't know if you got. It's the cat and mouse game that you play, where if you're a fullback that's an attacking-minded fullback, you want to stretch the other team and keep them honest, right? And somebody wants to win out. Both teams are trying to settle into the game, so you're trying to push them back and make sure that their wingers have to defend deeper. The wingers are trying to cheat up and maybe try to catch you on the counter a few times to make you stay honest. So,
It's
2-0.
Think about the scrap that happened towards the end of the first half. If you're a Ruti, the way that you silence all of that drama is to go and score a goal, and obviously a good ball from Lima there. And a Ruti who in a good spot.
You were talking about him personally.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, drives me crazy.
But a proven goal scorer.
It fires him up, right?
Yeah.
Like he does that. Do you think he does that because that's what gets him going?
A lot of players need to do that. I knew a lot of guys that were completely different, and girls that were very different players when somebody makes it personal to them, when they feel angry, when they feel like, okay, now we're here to play, kind of kicks them into another gear. Great redirection there, perfect ball from Lima.
I mean, the direction, the pace.
Yeah, it's just redirected, and it's so high and coming down that, again, we were just talking about what Steve Cherundolo is saying for the second half, and now you
just ripped up the piece
whatever
of paper.
You just said obviously didn't land or didn't work out, because first 3 minutes of the second half you give up a goal, and now if you're Austin, you're thinking about the 3 points here. You're thinking about the fact that this team is vulnerable, and maybe that gap that you saw before in terms of the table and Supporter Shield race maybe gets a little bit smaller or a little bit more realistic in your mind if they can close this out. Obviously a lot of time left to play, but it starts to make you believe in things that maybe you thought when it was 0-0 in the first half that it was maybe too far out of reach.
Although if you could get it right back there, maybe it's a different game.
And that's a great set of passes there. Velo at the entry ball. Then Bale just puts it in such a... You got two attackers on the back post. Someone's got to make that near post run to get in front of that defender. You can see Bale throw his hands up on his head. Clearly disappointed knowing that, hey, I put in a peach of a ball. There's two of you there. One of you has to make a dynamic run and can't just both be sitting on the back post.
Different type of run that was needed, but second week in a row, though, where Bale floats and Chicho Arango is not kind of in sync with him.
Yeah.
And that takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. And that's a matter of not just the sync between the two of them, but one, knowing that you've got a Gareth Bale on the field, you know that the ball's going to get into the right spots more often than not. Very few players have that quality to be at pace and put in that type of ball as a final ball. And then you got to be in sync with your attacking three or your attacking trio or any of your players in the attack. You shouldn't have two players sitting on the back post with if I'm a defender and I've got 2 players on the back post, I can mark both of them, right? It's got to be a really good ball into that position. That's the easiest part to kind of pay attention to, because the defenders are just shifting inside. So you want to make those defenders uncomfortable by changing up those runs and getting spots in front of them and cutting those balls off.
This team is almost unrecognizable from the team we've seen for the first some odd games.
Was it Max that said it? I can't remember if it was Max that said it, that talked about you don't want to turn it, where you don't want to turn one loss into a losing streak.
Right.
And seems like there's some fragility in this team right now, just in terms of managing moments of a game, because it's not like Austin have been unbelievable and dominant to be 3-0 up, but it's just managing moments and delivering in moments.
Yeah, I mean, let's break it down. Air, sloppiness in the back, Eddie Segura has to take a guy down, free kick in the back of the net. Now, that was quality, but you could say totally avoidable.
Yep.
We get a set-piece goal. It's in the second phase, where after you clear the first one, you don't kind of get out there. They score again. And then this is another kind of just...
And this time, Hollingshead misses the clearance. Eddie Segura loses the ball in the midfield, tracks back, and then gets beat to the goal on this one here. But it starts with Eddie Segura. Again, preventable moments. And then Max gets pulled out across from a tough angle. Ruti's able to put that ball away. That's a missed clearance. I mean, it's easy when you go and you analyze it now and you say, here's all the things that went wrong. And more often than not, there's 5, 6, 7 things that lead to a goal that could have been prevented, right? Should have fouled him there. Should have let him get through there. In hindsight's easy to break all that down. In real time, there was some key moments there of Eddie Segura losing the ball, of Hollingshead missing that clearance, Eddie Segura not getting goal side there at the end as he recovered, and now it's 3-0, and it's a really tough situation they find themselves in, not just in terms of this result today, because they're still sitting top of the table. They still got a really quality team, but maybe just a little bit of that, that maybe it shakes them to the core a little bit of like, hey, we're actually we've got a lot more work to do than we think, which I don't think is necessarily the case. They know that there's work to do, but also that they're not as invincible as they think, right? That when things are going well for you, great, but when they're not, like, can you find ways to get results? Can you find ways to do some of the simple things right to keep you in games longer?
Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Yeah. And I think this is the first time LAFC's really gotten punched in the face. I'm wondering, so you're on the field right now. It's 3-0. You're in Q2 where it's loud. You can see everyone standing up there. Like you said, it's not just about this game, but what are you thinking as you're trying to get through this game? Are you just some pride on the line?
Well, the hard part is you've got an attacking 3 with Vela and Boyle who want the ball at their feet, right? So you're not that vertical as a team. And Cherundolo likes to check back as well. But he's willing to do the work in the channels to get in behind. It might lead to needing somebody that changes the dynamic of that attack. Now, it sounds idiotic to say Boyle or Vela has to come off to change the team. But that means the team have to be able to make adjustments. There's plenty of time left in this match. But it's really sloppy right now, and there's plenty of time left in this match to get in, and you've got world-class players on the field that can change the game in a moment. But the team right now is looking to each other, and nobody's really answering to say, hey guys, calm down, let's settle in, let's sort of just work through the next 5-6 minutes, let's get into a rhythm. There's still 35 minutes left in this game. Let's relax. There's no reason to panic.
So one guy we haven't talked about, and that might have been the biggest loss from San Jose, is Ilie Sanchez. Comes in, gets 2 quick yellow cards, misses this game. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be 3-0 or even LAFC would be ahead, but just when we're talking about the sloppiness and the composure, controlling the game, we're seeing this is Exhibit A. Why you miss Ilie Sanchez.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, the biggest loss from the San Jose game wasn't the loss itself, because those happen. You can't be perfect all year, and you played with a rotated squad that wasn't in a rhythm until the second half, and it didn't go their way. The biggest loss was Ilie Sanchez missing this game, which is the biggest game of the year. Now, if you're Steve Cherundolo, you don't see this as the biggest game of the year. It's a step on the way. It's a step on the way, but it is a moment for you to challenge your team or create a new set of challenges with your best team on the field against a very, very good side in Austin FC.
Do you feel like LAFC looks like a team in the middle of a summer friendly? trying to get fit, trying to find them.
Taylor was some daggers there. I wouldn't go that far.
He's getting critical. But I mean, this is the thing about LAFC as a club. It's the biggest club in the league in terms of the attention it gets, the gravitas, the fact that they're new, the quality of players that they have, the names they brought in this summer, the signings that they've continued to have. It is the talk of the town, which puts you in the bullseye or puts you in the spotlight in terms of results. And Taylor's being highly critical on the broadcast on the ESPN broadcast right now because of that. You don't get a free pass. You don't get to have a day off. You got your day off or your off day against your San Jose. Now you got to show up in this one. There's still plenty of time left to play, but 3-0 down against the team that's fighting against you for Supporter Shield. You've got to now respond, and you've got you've got enough time to respond. So let's see the fight in the team. Let's see the things that they can do to at least control what they can control over the next 25 minutes.
And I'm upset because it made you and me look bad because we said they are a second half team. We had the stats to prove it. They're plus 31 in the second half, but now they're -2 in this second half.
But that's the thing is you talk about stats. You go, oh, don't worry, we'll fix it in the second half. It's like anything. Like it's you got to come prepared and put in the effort from the first minute. There's this classic thing of in soccer, especially called the Big Five, right? It's some crazy statistic. I don't know what it is, of like the amount of what percentage of goals are scored in the first or last 5 minutes of every half, and it's something astronomical. And this is a sign to it. It's hard. You come out of half, you got to be dialed in mentally because you're down 1-0 and you're against another one of the top teams in the league, and then now you find yourself down 2-0. And then you can't bounce out of that, it's 3-0. And it compounds like that. So now it's just about, are there sub goals they can get out of this game that get them back into it, that get them a goal, that bring them back to life? And it's to be determined.
And if you're the coach and goals are getting scored right after half, you're like, guys, I literally just talked to you.
I literally just, like you said, like we literally went from going like, Heath, you're Steve Cherundolo, what are you saying in the locker room? It doesn't matter what he said because whatever he said wasn't what happened. And so, again, it's an eye-opener. I hate to use certain cliches where you've got to learn, but this team is going to continue to learn through tough moments like this. There are going to be a few chances to get themselves back into this game, I hope. But this team, as you're shaping and molding for being a MLS Cup caliber capable team, you want to go. Sometimes you got to go through some of this stuff.
I mean, but there is something to it, right? I go back to Pep Guardiola and players that have played with him. They're like, man, everything that he told us actually happened. And maybe this is a moment where Steve goes, I told you what we should do and you didn't do it. So guys, trust me on this one. I don't know. We're not in that locker room to actually know.
Well, look, you got to go through the stresses, right? The thing we've heard about Murillo this year compared to last year is how good he is, right? So he's been a top player. We've heard about how good the entire back line is. Eddie Segura's back. We've talked about Hollingshead, how good he is. Misses a big moment like that where he makes a mistake that takes your team even further into the hole. And now, again, tracking back behind, arriving late to everything.
Tough time to bring in our next guest, but we might as well just get right to it. He's a guy that you're very familiar with and I love to death. Mark Rogandino is joining us. Mark, I apologize that I have to bring you in right when I'm going to tell you it's 4-0 Austin.
That's a heck of a segue there, Vince.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's not going to go in my highlight reel.
Yeah, welcome to talk.
I don't think anybody who's with you, anybody who's listening, probably most of the people, with the exception if you're inside Q2, know or expected this to go down. And pretty disappointing if you're LAFC. I mean, on a night when you get Bale to get his first start in an LAFC jersey, and you're thinking like, hey, it's going to explode with offensive fireworks, maybe a 2-2 game, a 3-1 LAFC win. Well, now they're losing 4-0. I mean, wow.
The result aside, Rogo, what's been the most surprising thing for you in this match?
Well, I just got done about 10 minutes ago doing the halftime show on ESPN LA, and the term I use is sleepwalking. I think for the opening whistle, this team was not ready to go. They were sleepwalking. The giveaways were atrocious. And I'm sure you and Heath touched on it already. You often find out how much you need and value something when you don't have it. Case in point, number 6, Ilie Sanchez.
We actually just got done talking about Ilie, so good timing for you to bring that on. I mean, you talk about Ilie, and it's like obviously he's a phenomenal player. He's clean on the ball, but some of it's just that tempo setting, right? It's the kind of intangible in a way.
I think it's the stopgap, right? I mean, it's his ability to step into those holes, play in front of the back four, almost acts as a fifth defender. And you could see, I mean, Austin was, with their pressure and us turning the ball over, they were carving us up, going right through the spine of the team. It doesn't absolutely help when you have some serious bad giveaways at the back that lead to free kicks and eventually goals. But I am shocked that LAFC this unprepared for this game this night, because I didn't expect that, especially after losing on the weekend up in San Jose.
Yeah, I fully agree. Obviously you don't predict this type of scoreline or this.
Oh, hey, Heath, you're here.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You were eating up all the airtime, so I figured I'd just sit back and I know you love to talk, so I'll just let you take it from here. Rogo, I mean, for me, what's interesting is that a lot of the things that. There we go. Okay, there's some good to talk about. Rogo, can you hear me? I had to go quiet for a minute because it's rocking in here again. The energy is just taking off.
Hey, we got one back. We have life. But how deep is the hole, right? How deep is the hole to climb out of right now is the big question.
Yeah, that is the big question. And what I was getting at with that is, went out and started the second half team, and some of these things that the team has been known for this year, we were able to lean on them, right? Oh, don't worry, they're a second half team, they'll come back. Oh, don't worry, they've got the quality, they've got these world-class players. Oh, the back line's been phenomenal this year. All of those things that have been the highest points have been some of the lower points for this team tonight versus on the season. So I was talking to Vince about just the learning moment of this team, of knowing that, you're not always going to be 9s and 10s, but this team's got to find a way to be 7 and 8s all season long and not have this sort of ebb and flow or this roller coaster ride of quality.
Well, I think, Steve Cherundolo made the point the other night against DC United when you won 1-0. He said something in the postgame along the lines of, I almost wish that we didn't get all 3 points out of that match, right? Kind of having this team face some adversity, right? And then you heard Ryan Hollingshead this week say, hey, it might have been the right time for us to lose that game up in San Jose since we reeled off 7 in a row to kind of give us a little bit of a wake-up call. Well, you thought that the team would come out and be ready, but this team hasn't faced a lot of adversity this season. So how do they react right now here tonight? How do they get up off the mat and come right back at Austin? Can they put in a couple here and make it a game down the stretch? I'd love to find out.
It just feels so weird talking about like moral victories with an LAFC team, but that's kind of where we are at 4-1.
I don't know that it's moral victories. I just think it's the class of the team and all the talent, all the stars that we have, right?
Yeah,
show it to us right now.
Yeah, and
show it to us right now. And if in the end we say, hey, you dug a little bit of a deep hole and you couldn't get out of it, but with the way that you battled to get out of it and the way you played, right? Because we would agree, up until this point, they look nothing like LAFC. I opened the halftime show saying, who stole the LAFC jerseys and put some other players in there? And that was not them in the first half. I don't know who that was.
Well, even when I look, Vince, at the team we talked about, and I joked, it's like, what could be different? Well, you've got a little bit of a duplicative nature between Bale and Vela on a team that you're playing away from home, and we don't have those dynamic movements up top that either allow the team to create moments of magic or to settle the ball down or control the game. You add Elias Sanchez to that. And now, looking back, it's easy to say, was that the right time to roll out your best front three? Because they are your best front three. But the dynamic nature of that, or them being as effective as they could, I thought was also missing in the attack so far tonight. And obviously that's why we've seen, and I'm sure some of that is load management for Gareth Bale of not playing too many minutes, but it wasn't ideal either in terms of the connection between the front three. Don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I think Steve Cherundolo has made it pretty clear a couple of times that his hesitancy to put those three together as their most talented three in Vela, Arango, and Bale was the lack of verticality. The inability with pace and speed to be able to stretch up and over the top, a la adding a Brian Rodriguez, even a Mahala Apoku, right? And you can see that was pretty evident. Because there was how many times did Bale or Vela or even Arango for that matter hit a touch in the attacking third in the first half. Probably less than 5.
Right.
So you didn't have that you didn't have that verticality at all.
Yeah, and then when they went down 2-0, that's when you start to see Vela and Bell really start to drop back deeper into the midfield, right? And now, if you're Austin, you're just saying, okay, cool, we just keep them in front of us. We got some of the best players in the world sitting in front of us, but they can't beat 6 or 7 of us. If they're going to find the ball there, our job is done. Our game plan has worked.
Is that a pizza you guys are sharing, or are we having a couple of bevies?
Yeah.
We're going through all this. I mean, what's going on?
Well, we are at Brooklyn Ave Pizza Co. here in Boyle Heights, and they are doing a great fundraiser for Mo Fascio. This is the Black and Gold Forever Pizza. Rogo, it's got fermented sourdough that had a top secret starter that's 24 years old, the chef told us. But it's all going to a great cause. So I think you got to get out here sometime and get yourself some pizza, Rogo. What's your favorite pizza?
I'm down. I'm down. I'm a meat lover. A little bit of pepperoni and sausage. Maybe mix in some prosciutto in there. All the good cheese and red sauce. I mean, maybe sprinkle some bell peppers on there. I love it.
Got to count on Rogandino to go to prosciutto.
You just threw 5 toppings on there just on spur of the moment. Well said, Rogo.
That's legal, right? I mean, come on, let's go.
It's true. Rogo, I'm going to let you go in a second, but I want you to go out on a dramatic high note because I asked the chef this, and now I'm going to have you answer because we were just talking about pizza. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes for you, or yes like you're okay with it?
No, I don't mind. I don't mind it to mix it up. But then I put the pepper flakes on top of it all too, so it's that like a little bit of sweet but also spicy.
Okay.
Just like you, Rogo.
It was too easy. I teed it up. Too easy, dude.
You did. Where are you going to be after the game? You're on ESPN Radio?
So I'm downtown LA Live right now here in the ESPN Radio spot. Here's my view right here. So I'm taking the game right there. Here's our whole setup.
Gorgeous downtown.
There's the guy there. There's Rebecca and Mario behind the screen over there.
Mario
behind the glass.
Mario, my dude, love Mario.
And then so we'll be here till post game, and then actually got to hit the road back down to Orange County, and a flight tomorrow off to Fort Lauderdale to call Sunday's Angel City FC Gotham FC matchup on Bally.
Well, there you go. Mark Rogandino, you can check him out right after the game on ESPN Radio, and then you can continue to follow his travels around the world. He's kind of like Max Bretos.
Yeah.
Where in the world is Mark Rogandino? He'll be calling the Angel City game, and I'm sure a lot of Black and Gold viewers will be checking that out. Mark, thank you for joining us. As always, you're the best.
Bellissimo. Arrivederci.
Goodbye, Mark. Ciao, Mark. Ciao.
Arrivederci. Ciao.
There he goes, Mark Rogandino. Got us through a tough moment there, but we also got to see a high point of this match, if you can call it one.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most frustrating thing when you're a player, and I can only imagine as a coach when you have these high moments where you're like, just do that. 4 or 5 passes, finish a goal, great. You should have done that from the start, and it's brought them to life, but I think Austin's done a good job of now weathering that storm for a few minutes where they could sort of feel that shift in dominance and that shift in energy and have settled back in a little bit. But with the quality that this LAFC team has, they can still win on nights that they're not playing great. And so it'll be interesting to see if they can get a few good chances here in the next few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Austin's been in shootouts. Like I said, it's now 15 goals in not quite 4 matches at home in the last 4 matches.
Well, it was 10 before tonight. And so we've certainly helped that stat, haven't we?
Yes. Yes, we have. All right, let's get some good news. Let's give away some prizes. Katia has a pair of the Juneteenth Community Track bottoms, so we're hoping to give some away. Katia, who do you got with you, and what's the trivia question?
Yes, guys, there's some hope back in this room, so we want to keep the momentum going. And I'm here with Christian and with Edgar from a supporters group, Los Bad Hombres. How did you come up with that name?
I think it was like a poll between the group of us, and we had a couple of names that weren't as good, and everyone kind of said, hey, we just like the attitude of it.
What's the attitude to belong in the Bad Hombres?
What was that again?
What's the attitude to belong to the Bad Hombres?
Just, you gotta have a good time, you gotta come ready to party. It's just a fun atmosphere, good vibes.
I like that. Great atmosphere, good vibes, just like the energy and the atmosphere that we're having here. So, okay, time to give away the prize. So we have a pair of cans. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and whoever raises the hand first and gets the question right is going to win the pants. Okay, are you guys ready? We made it easy for you guys. So this season, LAFC has been performing great, and they had an awesome winning streak of how many games? Okay, Edgar's ready to go.
7.
There we go. So that was easy. Edgar, you're the winner of the pants. So yes, 7 wins in a row, tying a club record. So there you have it. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
A little Bad Hombre celebration. Guys, Bad Hombres.
All right, we just gave away a pair of pants, and I was very excited. And then we went immediately on a breakaway, Cherundolo, and just like against San Jose, you would have bet your house on him finishing that. What is going on?
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, Vince. You were watching this screen. I turned around knowing there's one that's maybe a second faster, just because I didn't want to.
And you missed it both
I didn't want
ways.
the news broken to me via a loud scream or a.
Talk about going vertical.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be something there, pulling on the arm. He's going to have to look at that. He's grabbing. Oh, but Chicho's also grabbing the shirt, so if they slow that down.
And he gets the shot off.
Yeah.
Look, for me, I could see it going either way, but just for me, being an MLS watcher, that does not get called.
Yeah.
And Carlos Vela is saying, really?
Yeah.
So that means they're probably not even going to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's man, he chased that one from the half line to go on a breakaway, had his chance there, and again, like you said, usually he's automatic from there.
I just want to give a shout out to the chat who's now going through, like telling us where they're at. Let's see. We got a few people. We got R6 out in Bell Gardens, Carlos, San Rafael, California. Hey, what's up, Carlos? You're kind of far away. That's cool. Daniel's in South Central checking in. So Christian is asking, comeback season? It could have been on if we would have finished that chance.
I know. That would have changed everything. Everything.
We got Lennox, Gerardo, and Compton. Shout out to you guys. In Lennox, your screen name is LSX376VET. You gotta have an easier screen name for me.
Yeah. Anytime that I've done live shows, you have screen names that people put on there, and you don't know if it's actually somebody's name in there or if it's something, I'm gonna get caught saying some stupid thing sometime because somebody's got a hilarious name that I'm just sort of reading off the top.
It could even be something cool, but I'm just old and don't know that he's making a reference to something cool. Paulo's in Commerce. See, we got a lot of 323 area codes checking in.
Okay.
I'm originally a 714 area code guy, so. Oh, here we go. Okay, we've got clarification. It's about the Corvette.
Okay.
Which now I feel bad because Corvette is actually, the Stingray Corvette is one of my favorite old cars.
Yeah. The original Stingrays.
The original
Stingray.
Stingray.
Kind of humps over the wheels, yeah.
I like the curves.
There you go. I like that. We got some Bay Area here.
We're in a bar, we could say that. Yeah.
Huntington Park.
Huntington Park.
San Francisco.
The 10th consecutive game.
Now we're lining up bets here on a vet versus a bike. Line them up on the 710.
Now it's just a car conversation. Dodge Viper is underrated.
Well, Heath, it's 4-1.
Yeah.
So now, Dodge Viper.
I'm all about it. Like let's change the subject.
Shout out to Eric in Anaheim. Daniel saying shout out to Moscow on Templeton. All right, we got the shout outs. It's good to hear from you guys in the chat. It's good to see we got some life going here. It looks like we got some life going here from Chicho. Is Chicho the only one?
Yeah. It was just, again, there's probably some disappointment in the decision there, but I do like his urgency to go to goal and get involved and try to Carlos Vela obviously throwing his hands up in the air saying, hey man, I'm Carlos Vela.
Yeah, maybe pass to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed this in Chicho's game. When he kind of takes that on and he wants to be the man, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but he then gets tunnel vision. And maybe that's a 9 characteristic, right?
Well, when he's going over the top and he's going alone and cutting against somebody and scoring, it's great. But when it's in the build-up play or in the run-up play, you certainly want to just use your chance to get it to Carlos Vela. He's in Carlos Vela's zone, corner of the 18. he's going to either take you, drive across his body, or if you stay off him, he's going to put that top corner on the back post. It's exactly where you're going to find them the ball, and definitely an oversight.
I mean, I think that's a good learning moment because you've talked to Steve Cherundolo, I have as well, and some people are wondering, look, Chicho Arango, no one scored more goals than him since he showed up. So what could Steve possibly say bad about Chicho? And it's kind of moments like that where just it's a higher level, it's him being a little bit sharper and maybe just knowing that this is the right pass.
Yeah, I mean, to put it into context, even if you're Chiellini, right, it's sort of like, what do you say to somebody that's won everything and they've done everything and they're, top level like that? Well, it still comes down to the fact, like you said, it's small details. It's continuing to improve and get better at things. We've all got weaknesses. And so it's those little things, like you said, the time and the place, understanding. Actually, Bob Bradley used to say this quite a bit.
You're not allowed to bring up that name.
No?
I'm kidding.
He used to say this quite a bit to us, which is like, that's a good idea. Is there a better one, And it doesn't mean that him going alone is the wrong thing, but is there a thing that maybe has a better chance there, right? Because he got a shot off. Team hasn't been getting a lot of shots off. But could he make a better decision and lay that ball off to somebody who is in a better position to score or be impactful? And so it's about that leveling up of just continuing to get better at everything that you do.
Can I give you my theory?
Yeah.
You can tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
You've been in a lot of locker rooms, played for a lot of coaches. It seems to me that a lot of coaches like to keep their nines hungry. Like you rarely actually hear a coach go, yeah, he's real good. He's doing everything we want him to do.
I mean, nines are streaky traditionally. They're ego. They're the stars. So you've got to balance the ego. You got to know when to massage it, when you've got to light it on fire a little bit, not too high, not too low, especially an informed striker. It also leads to like contract conversations of like, hey, coach said it. I was the best. He said I'm the best. Where's the money?
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
That's why you have an agent.
Yeah, exactly. Favela off, Bale off.
Which is probably the right thing to do at 4-1.
There's
you don't live to fight another day.
If you were 4-2 and Chicho finishes that, then maybe there's a little bit of life in there. But at this point, it's time to just be smart. You got a lot more games. Cherundolo said it before this game started of just like it's bigger for them than it is for LAFC. It's not a huge game. It's an important game, but you move on from this and you get to the next one if it doesn't end up working out.
So Vela's out, Bale's out. It's Bale's first start of the season. They showed a little stat line, 34 touches, 2 shots, 0 on goal. Your take on Gareth Bale's first start for LAFC?
Well, if you think about LAFC in the past of just being fast in transition and really opening up against teams, with them at times sitting deeper in blocks and against the press of good save. But against some of the press of Austin, they didn't do a good job, and it's not just on Bale or Vela to create something out of nothing. They've also got to receive the ball in dangerous positions. They got to receive the ball, and you saw Vela there frustrated about not getting it from Arango. They need to get the ball in spots that keep them activated where they're most dangerous. And I don't think the team put them in good positions for most of the game. Having said that, when you are a big player, you've got to find a way to be a little bit more impactful. He had that volley opportunity that he overhit. Not tough angle, but like a tough ball to control and put on frame. But certainly a player of his caliber, you start to nitpick little things like that of like, could you have done a little bit more? What was your take overall on...
He was just kind of anonymous.
Yeah.
Right? And to your point, yes, there was a chance for him to maybe do something spectacular, and we've seen him score better goals.
Yeah.
But I actually, honestly, I didn't even process it until you said it when we had Rogo on. I think that's a great point. Do you start Bale in a moment where you're not going to have your best midfielder, you're not going to have the best service? And I'm sure that's something that crossed Steve Cherundolo's head, but now, in hindsight, maybe wasn't the moment.
It's hard, but you want to, on the same end, you go, well, this is a big game. Why wouldn't I put my best players on the field? You're telling me that Vela and Bale can't figure it out together? You know what I mean? Where they've played, the quality that they have, your mind can quickly go to that as well and go, this is where I want him because I can trust in this guy's played in the biggest game. Yeah, he hasn't started for my team yet, but he'll get in and he'll figure it out right away. And it's not on Vela or Bale and their performances today. The whole team, like you said, was pretty non-existent for long periods of the game in terms of being dangerous, in terms of doing the small things right, and doing the things that make LAFC so good. So, yeah, it's tough.
Well, it's 4-1 here, and people are still, I mean, they're still standing up. We're going to take a look at the crowd right now. This is the LAFC official watch party presented by Heineken. We're here at Brooklyn Ave Pizza Co. And we're actually going to have a special guest slide in with us to give us a little more history about this place, because it actually is a place that is very interesting, and it's a 2-for-1 here. So we'll have Frank explain this to us. Frank, you are the GM of where we are. So this is explain this to me. Because I have the Brooklyn Ave Pizza Co. in front of me, but that's downstairs. We are upstairs. This is the Paramount.
This is the Paramount Ballroom. We've been here since 1924. There's a lot of history in this building. This was actually the headquarters of the Jewish Communist Party back in the day.
Oh.
And they started to have a lot of fundraisers in the 1920s because they did a lot of organizing in the community, and that led to a lot of musical concerts. They turned out realizing that the musical concerts brought more people together than anything else. So this building was actually owned by Rita Hayworth and her family in the 1940s. Sonny and Cher got their start in this space. At those days, they were known as Caesar and Cleo.
Wow.
And there was a musician known as Little Stevie Wonder, who also got his start out of this space. So a lot of music history, Black Flag, punk rock, Social Distortion, X, bands like that have played here. And it also has some history in electronic music. This was the location of the first Nocturnal Wonderland, which is EDC, all the Insomniac events that you see in Las Vegas and big cities. This was the place that started it all.
So this is Los Angeles history across just so many genres. I mean, you've named everything. You got soul, R&B, Stevie Wonder. You got Sonny and Cher, which are kind of your classic '60s act that would come out. You've got punk rock. I mean, what haven't you done here?
Well, what we haven't done is what we're doing now, which is bringing people together around soccer. And soccer is one of our biggest things. I'm from Colombia, grew up around soccer, one of the LAFC originals, proud to be a very early supporter of the team. And we very intelligently designed our restaurant along the love that we have for the black and gold. So our oven downstairs is a black and gold oven. And a lot of what we do really pays homage to what LAFC is doing in Los Angeles, is bringing people together.
Well, one of those things is this pizza in front of us. We have the Black and Gold Forever Pizza to celebrate Mo Facio. As you say, you're an LAFC original. For you to bring those two passions together and then take it to that next level to really do something that, again, this pizza is building a futsal court. It's building something tangible. What does that mean to you?
Well, we're very proud to do that. I mean, we work with a lot of community organizations, but doing something like that really sets a marker and cements in history Mo's legacy to LAFC, and anything that we can do to help and continue to help that legacy is something that we're proud to do.
How long is the promotion going? How long can people come here and get this pizza?
Well, we're doing it this week, and we're hoping that if we get really good response, that we continue it through the rest of the season. But our goal is to really raise a very large amount of money that we can actually do well with. And so one of the things I'm very happy to say is that Paramount Brooklyn LLC, the company that owns the Brooklyn Avenue Company, will be matching dollar for dollar all of the fundraising that's going to be doing. And this is, you're hearing it on 110 Football first. And so our goal here is to really be supportive of the program. And we're really just hoping that people come out and continue to support his pizza.
Heath, that sounds like a challenge, because if Paramount Brooklyn are matching it, you guys got to come and bring it, so they have to really spend some cash.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I love that. And so, I mean, is this the first of many that we're having here tonight in terms of this crowd, this audience? I mean, people arrive, they show up, they're supporting. I mean, what's it been like for you to experience this here?
This has been amazing for us. We weren't sure, because of the timing, of course, that Friday, 5 p.m. ESPN showing of the game, we were like, we don't know. Are people going to come and enjoy it? And we figured, well, we'll just set it up, and if we build it, they will come, and they sure did. And we're very happy for that.
That's awesome.
Colombiano,
sure.
We have quite the contingency. Who's your favorite? Can you pick between them?
Well, I mean, I got to tell you, I really miss Atuesta in today's game.
Who doesn't really miss Atuesta?
I miss Atuesta in today's game. But I really love Segura's passion, Chicho's hunger for the goal, and his fight is amazing. And our defenders, our Colombian defenders always bring it.
Okay, one last thing. You kind of hedged on that one. You picked all three guys. I asked the chef, pineapple on a pizza. You got to dig in one way or the other. You can't hedge here.
I love it. This is why we call our pizza the sinner, because it's something that you're not supposed to do, but we found a really great way of doing it, and people come for it. It is our third most sold pizza, and we're going to continue to do it. So we're continuing to experiment with the pizzas, and we're hoping that everyone comes out and continues to come out and support.
Well, my thank you to you. Thank you for hosting Heath and I and like 100 and some odd of our closest friends. Guys, many more that we're going to be doing here. And remember, these guys are doing something special for the community. And he's laid the challenge to you guys. Come on out here, get the Black and Gold Forever Pizza, and they will match that so we can build that Mofacio court. Frank, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
There he goes, Frank. Guys, you heard it here first on this official LAFC watch party here at Brooklyn Ave Pizza Co, sponsored by Heineken. The company here, Paramount Brooklyn, which is the holding company for this restaurant and venue, they are going to match what you guys come and spend for this Black and Gold Forever Pizza. So,
you just got an exclusive here, you know? He shared it. I like that. But it's amazing to see, you know, it's one thing if you're a venue or a partner of LAFC to just show up when you're supposed to. It's another thing to really show that you're a big part of this community and willing to support Mo's legacy and all the things that they're trying to build there. So it's amazing. And I'm telling you, I would gladly drive the length that I drove to get here for another one of these. Like that, you hear about sourdough a lot on crust and on pizza, especially, you know, when I was in New York, but this is one of the best. It's kind of got that little bit of that taste to it that's just, I mean, it's unbelievable.
We'll say in terms of things Black and Gold tonight, this is the winner, the pizza.
Well, and the ovens they said that are black and gold.
The oven is black and gold.
Cool.
I gotta get one of those in my house. How do we get that? How do we make that happen?
I mean, it sounds like you got a big house, so now you just got to go and put the oven in.
I don't. We have a nice shared space in the backyard there in Long Beach, so maybe I could just, I mean, what neighbor is going to complain about me putting a brick pizza oven in our shared space?
Be the most popular one in the neighborhood.
I know, I might have to keep people out after that. Well, guys, 4-1. We're in the 87th minute.
Yep.
The chat. Let's see what the chats have they given up on us? Are they still talking about where they're from? We do still have. By the way, for you guys that are wondering, why am I still watching this game at 4-1? Well, we do still have a good prize that we're going to give away, and there's going to be a pretty good competition. Katia has a Gareth Bale signed LAFC hat to celebrate his first start here. I know it wasn't the best start, but I'm sure anyone that walks away with that Gareth Bale hat won't care at all.
You could tell me about any moment in Gareth Bale's career, and I would still take that.
Right. I don't know. We've done so much here, Heath, that I felt like I haven't gotten to be as disappointed about this game as I will be when I go home and maybe like rewatch it.
Well, that's the thing. There's so much going on that you kind of got to find the bright side of things, because it would be real sad if we turned all this into something negative. I mean, that's that person that's on the TV right now, Steve Cherundolo. That's his job to be sad and his job to worry about those things. You know.
That's me generally watching games.
Yeah.
Because the Italian in me, I have to watch games alone because I'm like, you don't want to be with me if it goes sideways.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had you here with me, and I wasn't going to embarrass myself. But I could get a little.
At least, I mean,
what are you? How do you watch games? Are you a yeller? Are you a?
I'm generally in a big game. I like to watch it quietly. I'm not a big fan of like if it's something I'm really into. Like in a game like this, if this was a playoff game, I'd like to watch it quietly at my house, you know, alone, away from my family, just me, because I like to watch it actively. But I also love to be able to get in with an audience and a crowd and an atmosphere like here. It's pretty wild. I mean, when you heard that, it's been one goal for LAFC, but it got so loud in here and it roared that it makes it all worthwhile. So I'm a mix depending on who's playing and the magnitude of the game.
Well, we're obviously in a World Cup year. You're a former U.S. national team defender, and you cover the team with your podcast and the things you do with CBS Sports. So let's say the United States gets into quarterfinal matchup there in Qatar, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
How are you watching it?
Oh man, I'm going to be at the game for sure.
Okay.
I'll be at the game. I'm not missing that live aspect of going to a game like that of that magnitude. I'll definitely make sure that I'm in the stadium for a game like that. But you know, outside of that, I tend to again, especially with the national team too. LAFC games also, I tend to like to watch it quietly because the distractions can be a lot, and I want to see every moment. I want to feel, you know, I kind of want to like immerse and feel the flow of a game. which sometimes gets the better of me and I get a little emotional, but I like that.
What I do.
Yeah.
Bad Bob. That was
just
close.
to watch a game, but some people just can't stop watching.
Right.
You know?
I apologize to the people that are watching us through the chat.
Middle of 9th minute. But it's hard because you always want something that you don't have on a team. There could be more rotation, but if you think about your best 11 and the team that you can put out there between Sifu, Kellen Acosta, and Ilya Sanchez, that's a really good midfield, especially the form that they've had this year. So you want to have one or two more players, and I think they have them. They just haven't really, again, found that. Latif hasn't found that ability to contribute as much as he probably could when he's on the field.
Mendes still getting in.
Mendes is still trying to find his rhythm. I think hasn't been great yet either, but been a role player when coming off the bench, not in terms of a starter, but yeah. There is some depth there, but I agree. You know, it's not ideal because it doesn't get illuminated until you lose an Ilya Sanchez to a double yellow,
right?
And then you go, "Where's all of our depth?" You know,
right? And there's a forward that has been surprising a lot of people. Mahala, again, he's been so good. 7 goals. Still only 21 years old. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about it because we haven't talked about it at all. Dennis Bawanga is coming in. Now Christian Teo. Quick thoughts on the two forwards coming in?
I mean, it's going to be a battle for competitions because you said it a little bit ago. Chicho Arango, what do you do with him? You know, it's a guy that's been scoring. If he hits that dip of form, things could change. But how do you find the right balance and dynamic that's going to give your team the best chance to win on any given day, regardless of opponent or opponent specific? So the more threats you can bring in, the more competition you get in training, the more intensity you get in training, and the more you start to see some of those players rise. And hopefully, that's the idea. It doesn't always work that way because then egos come into it and whatever. But hopefully that all comes to something that leads to this team being much better than where they're at right now.
We always hear about egos. Like, give me the lowdown, Heath. Like, how much does it really affect guys? Like, I need to know.
Egos are a real thing, man. You asked about strikers earlier, about why don't coaches ever say how good they are or whatever. I mean, egos are a real thing. In locker rooms, when you look at LAFC's locker room, Chiellini is the perfect example of a non-ego, and probably had his moments in his career where he was saying, like, you know, lighting that fire around guys where that ego comes to play. But when you look at all these people, you're trying to manage what they think, what they feel, what they think is best for them, what they think is best for the team. And you're trying to put all that together into this blender and make it into something beneficial for the team. Egos are a real thing. They're fragile. You know, you hear about anybody of like your star players and this ego size of some players that they can come in and not sleep the night before, and your locker room knows, like, oh man, it's going to be a tough day because a couple of our guys are not happy. That's why modern coaching and management has turned into that. Ego management is such a big part of that, and it's not so much about X's and O's. I mean, it is, but good managers now have to have the ability to communicate, be honest, build relationships and trust and that sort of stuff. And that's the difference between, you know, the old school and old generation of coaches and the new generation.
So it ends 4-1. They're showing on the screen that the gap is now 6 points. I want us to end on a good note, so let's give away that Gareth Bale signed hat. Let's go to Katia. Katia, take us out on a good note. Let's give away a good prize.
Thank you, guys. We still want to have that good energy. We're dancing to La Chona. Why not? Not the result that we were hoping for, but as promised, we have the big giveaway, the Gareth Bale signed hat. So we're going to have that one last question. They're going to write it down. They will not show their answer until I tell them to. So I'm here with Chris and with Alex. And then if they don't get it exactly right, but whoever gets closest to the number will get the hat. So guys, are you ready? Okay. So the question is, how many goals did Carlos Vela score in the 2019 season, an MLS best all-time record for a single season? So, right, how many goals did Carlos Vela score in 2019 to get that golden boot and to still have that record? So, Alex has his answer. Chris, do you have your answer? Okay, so are you guys ready? Yeah. Chris, show us your answer first. So 23 is Chris's answer. So Alex, show us your answer. 37. So She went over. So Alex went over. I'm going to go with 23. So Price is Right rules because the answer is 34. You were close. You were close. Price is Right rules. So Chris, you're the winner of the Gareth Bale signed hat. So thank you so much for participating. Yes, we had a great time. Thank you so much, you guys. Back to you.
I said Katia was going to take us out on a good note. We saw those guys high five. A little bit of camaraderie. You like to see that. He was closer, but those Price is Right rules.
Rules are rules, you know, rules are rules.
And Katia, we want to thank Katia who came here and actually was pretty much the bright spot throughout this whole broadcast because she's giving out prizes. She's actually keeping people happy. You and I are the bearers of bad news.
Well, she had said at halftime that people were getting shy to come on camera to win prizes. I was like, I'd have just changed my outfit over and over again, raised my hand and go back on camera, even if I don't know the answers. Just keep trying to win prizes.
Right, yeah, always take your chances to win. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Unfortunately, a tough night for LAFC, but hopefully these are lessons that they take into the playoffs as we've kind of been talking about through this 90-plus minutes. I want to thank Heath Pearce. So awesome to have you here. Honestly, honor for me. He's normally with Max Bretos on the Big Boy broadcast. He joined the Little Kid broadcast with me, so thank you so much, Heath.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Brooklyn Ave Pizza Co, the Paramount. Guys, you got to get out here to get the Forever Black and Gold Pizza to support Mo Facio and get that court built in East LA. So they're going to be running it for as long as you guys keep coming out here, and they're going to match those donations. So get out here. The pizza is
unbelievable.
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 Okay, so thank you, Heineken. This is the LAFC official watch party presented by Heineken. I'm Vince Rosa. That's Heath Pearce. LAFC lives to fight another day. We, though, we're out of here. So we're going to go have a drink.